guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Mark with Red Star Loft. Just doing some flying today. As you can see, that's round 1 and 2 that you can see flying around. They've just gotten back. They were ranging for maybe 30 minutes, a little bit less, and that's the round 3. Young pecking around on top of the loft. So this is their second time that I've actually had them all outside. The first few times that when I weaned them, they were just in the aviary, and now they're actually outside. So a couple more times they should start taking off and flying. But you know, this is what I mean with you know, these guys are ranging and just about ready to be taken on tosses. And these guys here have really never been outside, so that's kind of the struggles of 3 rounds. That's why I basically more or less decided that for next year what I'm gonna end up doing is 2 rounds. I can have the same amount of pairs, maybe even a couple pairs more, but I will do 2 rounds instead of 3, not only because I don't want to have this many birds, but it's mainly because you know, by the time that they're all weaned, they're all going to be together. There's not going to be this big learning gap that these guys have, you know, round 1 and 2 being really good on the wing, flying and ranging, and then, you know, the young guys just learning how to use their wings, more or less. So yeah, it's a little bit of a struggle in my opinion, but plus I think it would be better. It would be better to try more, to be able to try more pairs, even though you only get 2 instead of 3 rounds out of them. You can try more pigeons instead of having to cut back on your pairs. You can have a few extra pairs, try a few extra birds, and see how they produce for you. So yeah. There you see them. Let me step here, give you a minute or so. Rain should be done for the next week or so. Look at them. So they should be out all of next 5 days. So we're gonna push them. Cutting back on food again. Like I said, the previous 3 or so days I did kind of let him, when I knew I wasn't going to be letting him out, I did let him eat a little bit more, just to make sure everybody was nice and full. But I still have some, mainly in this tree up here, some birds, but I'm not even going to stress about it. Once the time to, you know, actually train them and pack them up into baskets comes, you know, who's going to get lost is going to get lost, and there's nothing you can do about that. So I won't even stress it. I just don't want them to slow down the guys that are up in the sky now. So let's see. Yep, there they are back here. I actually personally like to watch them fly on a cloudy day the most. Yeah, they're way behind those trees now. They're real easy to spot. There's no sun in my eyes. I don't have to look for shade. I can just, days like this are the best sky watching days. There they come. But we'll let them keep doing what they're doing. See, I'd be super happy if this was my team for 2020 and I didn't have to worry about whole nother round. So, you know, hope I'm not complaining too much. It's just a little bit of a pain in my butt right now, because that's a good healthy team right there. So anyway, I'm gonna get back to watching him, go feed my breeders, and just keep an eye on these guys and make sure they don't get in any trouble. So I'll be back with you guys in a little bit. Welcome back, guys. It's been a second for you in the video. Been a whole day for me here, but here we are, another day. Been about an hour and a half or so that the birds have been flying. I'm really, not expecting anything less than 2 hours at this point. Out of the last 4 flights, I think it's been, if I am correct, they've flown hour 45, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. So, give or take, maybe a few minutes over or under. But I think it's safe to say that they're being consistent with 2 hours. So now I'm not, now I expect at least 2 hours, which is a big improvement for maybe just 2 weeks ago when I was expecting an hour. So they're bumping it up. And as you can see today, as opposed to yesterday, there's only 4 or 5 birds on the roof. Granted, the rest of the young birds, they're around in a tree or somewhere else. They're definitely not all flying now, but at least they're hanging out on the roof less than they used to, so that's a plus. But yeah, like I said, they've been coming and going. They fly around here. I see them for about 10-15 minutes, and then they're gone for 10-15 minutes, and they kind of come and go when it comes to ranging. But right now they're overhead, and yeah, just enjoying watching them fly. It's about a 50 and some change birds up there. So that's where we are. Cloudy day, but still a reasonably warm day, so great there for flying. They have a little bit of wind to put up with, but nothing major. I'm thinking within the next 2 or so weeks, maybe 2 weeks, I'll be able to start taking them on tosses and get that process going. So we'll see. No need to rush anything, but at the same time, I feel like they're getting better. And if they're already flying steady 2 hours and ranging for up to, so far, about a half hour at a time. The ranging is still inconsistent, but they're definitely starting to range, and they're covering some good distance. So yeah, that's it for this part of the day. I'll see, I might do either a last part of the video as I call them in or as I let them out tomorrow. We will see, but hang in there. Alright guys, the birds are in. Obviously I didn't get to record them coming in, but they're all back in. Some are already full. The rest of the guys, you can see, are busy eating. But that's where we are. Whole lot of birds. They're almost done eating. All that's left is those little seeds. They got their daily portion. They flew for 2 hours and 20 minutes. This guy, the one that was wounded, he did come down after about an hour 40 or so. He just came down and went inside, so he's, probably not 100% yet, but looks like he's 90% fine if he's flying for over an hour and a half without a problem. And yeah, that's the rest of the guys. Like I said, almost 2.5 hours roughly, which I'm super happy about. So that's it. That's been the last 2 days flying. Here's what I've done, kind of in the spur of the moment, but I've been talking about it forever. I don't know if you guys can see or how well it shows on the video, but I finally painted all of that wire as well as that wire. I finally painted it brown, and I can't recommend it enough. I know a couple of other guys have mentioned this too, but if you have this type of, I think it's a 1/2 inch wire, it's kind of hard to see through. Paint it a dark color, paint it black, paint it brown, paint it whatever, it's gonna look, not that it's gonna look better, it's just gonna be much easier for you to look through it and to see your birds. I can't recommend it enough. I don't know exactly what it does. It's like it takes the shine off or whatever it may be, but it works like a charm. And the other thing that I've done, because I'm just kind of sick of my current setup, it looks like trash. Basically what I'm gonna hopefully do by the end of the day is, so that I can stop using the ladder and the piece of plywood and all of that, I've basically built another one of these that's like the one up there, and I will hinge it onto here so that when I open that, I'm gonna be able to flip this open as well, and they're gonna have a landing platform that's basically twice the size of the current one. So I'll just make that fold out type of a platform and stop using that piece of plywood. So let me get this locked up. That's where we are, guys. That's all I got for you. Couple days journey. Here's a quick peek at the feeders. And like I said, they probably think I'm gonna give them some food. But that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will be with you in a few days.